Hello, it's Jennifer, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I've sat here for about the last 10 to 15 minutes starting this video and then kind of going for a few minutes and then just kind of getting frustrated and stopping the video. I have this part of me that is very particular about how it's perceived, and so it kind of comes up in times where things are new or when it's kind of a self-conscious part. And so I'm kind of getting a little bit frustrated with this, and it's kind of going along with what I am actually going to talk about in this video, is these different parts that come up for us. And when I mean parts, it's kind of, it can also be just different aspects of our personality. I think instinctively and intuitively we can recognize these different parts of ourselves. Like that's a term or kind of a saying that I've heard a lot even before I was introduced to this model of internal family systems, that some of you have worked with me. But they're just different parts of our personality that oftentimes will come up very strongly, and as we start to pay more attention to them and to acknowledge them, we can actually build relationships with them and get to know this, what they talk about, an internal family within us. I think of a lot of them as childlike parts, parts that have been with me for a long time, either born with or kind of arising out of different experiences in childhood. Some of them react to traumatic or difficult experiences. These parts aren't broken. They are not parts that we need to shut down or push away, even though sometimes we feel like it. So I'm sure that you can all relate to kind of having an inner critic or a critical part where there always seems to be some part watching and kind of waiting to kind of pounce on, oh, you did that wrong, you need to do that again, or what are they going to think, or you're so stupid, or you have nothing to say that has any worth, you need to just be quiet. That would be a part that most of us can relate to. And in full form, it is here today with me, so I just thought, F it, I'm going to continue on with the video, and so bear with me if I say anything that doesn't feel helpful, or if it feels like I'm rambling. I'm just going to kind of throwing caution out the window. While I'm acknowledging this critical part, I'm also wanting to kind of send some caring energy to it. And I do have a curiosity towards it as well, knowing that these different parts, according to the internal family system, they are good at their core. And even though it can be a little bit difficult and painful to have them doing the job that they're doing, that they often believe that there's a really important reason why they're doing it. And so, just kind of going forward, I'm going to acknowledge my critical part. I'm going to ask it to give me a little bit of space as I do this video. It's important for me to kind of create this space for you guys, if you need it and if you want it, to be able to come to and just kind of focus a little bit on yourself and focus internally on those experiences and feelings that you're having. I found internal family systems to be one of the most profound, beautiful models, and it really resonated with a couple of things that I already believed, that we, at our core, we have self-healing properties. Just like when we get a cut, our body knows what to do to heal physically. I believe that we also have that wisdom and that intuitiveness inside, we have the answers within, that the wisdom is within, and this model is one that really respects that and kind of holds that up as one of the really strong parts of this, of the model. Also, another thing that really drew me to it is the value of being curious about our inner worlds. And not, I think so many of us instinctively, by what we were taught, we kind of want to go away from those parts that are big or strong, or it feels like they're very controlling sometimes, or just they often come forward with lots of really strong emotions. And so I loved the idea and the ability and the value of going towards these parts rather than shutting them down or breathing them away or ignoring, which some modalities do, or even with mindfulness. I think mindfulness is a beautiful thing and it's very helpful along with other things, but even kind of just breathing away or kind of visualizing away things, if that's all we're doing, I still have a really strong belief and feeling that those burdened beliefs and those burdened feelings that we have inside are not going to completely go away. So I really love IFS. And so today I want to kind of share a meditation. It's from Tony Hervine Blank. It's from a training that I took in IFS. And it's just going to be kind of a guide for you to kind of do what we do in sessions sometimes. And I just want you to know that this is not, sometimes it's easier than other times. There's no right way or wrong way. Your job at this point, as you listen to this, is to really try and just notice what happens within you, and to kind of just let it be. Nothing has to be done. You don't have to do it. There's no expectation. Just kind of use it as a curiosity, a way to kind of build curiosity within. And even if you get to a place in this meditation where you feel like, you know what, this is not what I want to do, that's okay too. But just noticing that there is likely that these kinds of things, when we inquire within, it can cause a lot of fear for people. One of the great quotes that I have from Dr. Dick Schwartz is the one who founded IFS, was there was nothing inside of anyone that can hurt them if they're not afraid of it. And that's something that I truly believe. I've also thought recently of just kind of this part that's come up in me a lot, that there's an expectation that I need to be doing something differently in how I'm handling the current situation. I was listening to Brene Brown's, she has a podcast, a new one called Unlocked, and she had the term FFT, which is the first effing time for anything. You know, and to give ourselves grace and give ourselves acknowledgement that we've never done this before. And any of these expectations that come up from within, or even from others, right? And then kind of how we respond to that with kind of saying, yeah, I should be doing something different, or I should be doing something better. Just recognizing that that is a part of us, and that part of us needs some care as well. So let's kind of go into, I'll be using this meditation, I'll be reading the words, so I won't necessarily be giving eye contact, but this is a time for you, and I would suggest before I start the meditation to grab a piece of paper if you want, just to have it next to you, even if it's just writing down things after. I would really encourage you to do that. to take this opportunity to kind of, if you're going to be listening to this, take it to the limit for you to be able to kind of do some much needed internal work right now, I can imagine, with all of the different things that are happening in your lives. And even though some of them may be global or kind of a general, like that we're all experiencing, you have, every one of us has very specific things that are happening that are also causing additional emotions, and those are kind of, they can bump up against these already burdened emotions and beliefs that we have. Okay, so I'm going to go into this meditation, and I want you to just find a comfortable position, and that can be sitting or lying down. And I want this also to be, if you can, find a space that no one else is in. So you're not kind of worried about whatever else is going on. Give yourself some time and space for this. And if you need to, just turn this off until you get to a place where you can kind of be comfortable. Okay. All right, I'm going to ask you to find a comfortable position, and that can be either sitting or lying down. I just want you to start by taking some nice, long, deep breaths, because I'm going to be inviting you now to go from focusing externally on me in this video to focusing internally on yourself. And one way that we know that can be very helpful to do that is to just begin by using your breath. Nice, long, deep breaths. And I want you to move your body around if you need to get to a more comfortable place. I want you to remember that these parts that I've been talking about live in our body for the most part. So I want you to pay attention to that. And the model is body-centered. And understanding that these parts of us live in our body is one way to be able to anchor onto them. So just breathing into your body, closing your eyes if it feels okay to do that. It's okay if it doesn't also. And the first thing that I'm going to invite you to do is to bring into your mind's eye someone who does something that you just can't not react to. And we've had a lot of time within our homes to kind of be with those that we don't necessarily spend all day with. And so there could be anyone in your home. It could also even be just, you could also even have the coronavirus as something that you're picturing. So just kind of, might be a partner, it might be a friend, it might be a daughter or a son. It might be a boss, but it's someone or something in your life that has a behavior, or has a part, we might say, that acts in a certain way. They say something, they do something, and then you start to feel a reaction and a response to. And as you bring that person into your mind's eye, just invite them to do that thing or say that thing that they do that just gets the energy moving inside of you. It gets the reaction moving inside of you. Just notice what starts to happen in your body when you ask that person to do what they need to do. Instead of asking that reaction inside of you to stop, I want you to first name that reaction. When that person's doing what they're doing or saying what they're saying, or when you kind of picture the news anchor and talking about the coronavirus, I want you to kind of name whatever that experience is inside of you. Instead of asking it to stop, which we usually do, we're going to ask it to actually give you more information. We're not going to ask it to go away. I want you to again just notice your body. Is there anywhere that you can find this this feeling or this experience within your body. Just notice. It's okay if you can't find it in your body, but just notice if there's a place in your body that holds this feeling or experience, or this part. You might start to notice that you have an impulse when confronted with this person's behavior. You want to do or say something in response. Or maybe your impulse is to get out of there. But just notice what your impulse is. And as you're noticing your body, you're noticing any thoughts that you have. You're noticing your impulses. To just allow yourself to have that experience without judging it, if that's all possible. And now we're going to invite the person who triggers this response in you just to fade out of your mind's eye. Just to fade out and to experiment with the idea that all of this reaction and this response that you're having to this other person is actually a part of you. It's a protective part. And asking that part of you to turn towards you, to turn away from the person that it's triggered by, and to turn towards you. I'm going to invite you to ask that question that maybe we've asked in session. How do you feel towards this part that's come up? Is there any curiosity or clarity? Some openness to just to get to know this protector part of yours today. And if there's any other kind of different emotion that's not curiosity or clarity or any kind of compassion or just an openness to this reaction or part, I want you to ask that feeling or that thought to give you a little bit of space. Maybe go into a safe, comfortable waiting room. Just kind of wanting to get to know this original part. You're going to interview it once you have that curiosity. You're going to talk to it just like you would a person. Because that's how we see these parts. This is how we treat these parts. Like they're people that deserve respect, understanding, and to be known. There's a purpose to them. And let's treat them like they have a purpose. And when you're ready, you could just begin to invite it to tell you what it wants you to know about it. Find out what it wants you to know. What's its role? What does it do for you? What is it worried is going to happen if it didn't respond the way that it does? You need to stop the video to kind of get to these questions and to ask. Go for it. Really listen. If you're able to ask that question, really listen to what the part wants you to know about that. What is it afraid would happen if it didn't respond for you on behalf of you? What's its intention? What does it need you to know? Another inquiry you could make is, how long has it been doing this for you? How long? And just take a minute to allow yourself to get that information, staying curious. Again, I'm going to invite you to notice how you're feeling towards it. If you're feeling open-hearted, if you're feeling curious, if you're even beginning to feel a little compassion, begin to extend that to this part. Let the part know that you're right there, that you're paying attention, that you're getting the information. Just notice what that's like. You can even ask this part, what's it like to be having this dialogue with you today, right now? If you're still with me, the question, what is it afraid of? What is it afraid would happen if it didn't do this job or role for you? Just notice if it's beginning to give you information about something more vulnerable. What's it protecting? And just to notice that information. And there's nothing to do about it. There's nothing to fix right now. But just to notice that possibly there is a relationship between this protective part of you and a more vulnerable part of you. You might even notice how that relationship is in your body, how those two parts operate together. To just keep your curiosity running, allowing yourself to get whatever information you're getting, whether it's big or small. In a minute, I'm going to ask you to come back, so just take a moment to see if there's anything that needs to happen inside. Is there anything you want to communicate to this part, or these parts of you, or anything they need you to know? Anything more they want you to know about themselves right now? What they trust you to tell right now? You may want to set an intention to come back and hear more at another time. Or just to thank this part for doing a job for you. Thank your parts for any information they were able to give to you. And begin again to deepen your breath. Begin the journey out to the external. No rushing back. Then once you're all the way back, take a minute or so, if it feels right, to just make some notes about what you heard, what you learned, what you felt, what happened in your body, any information that you want to make note of. And I just want you to notice kind of even with this meditation. Was there any part of you or kind of any thought of like there can be cynicism, there can be fear, there can be a lot of times what happens is our mind starts going crazy and we're not able to focus. And just notice that too. And be open to the possibility, if you would, that those are also parts. It can be quite scary, like I said, for those of us who our MO has been kind of just, kind of reflect outward or deflect outward and not kind of internally search. And like I said in another video, we can get very fearful of being overwhelmed. But what we often know is this is a beautiful way to check in with those parts of ourselves. I look at it as a way, they call it internal family systems, because it really is as if kind of this idea that there are many childlike parts within us. This is a very concrete way that I've been able to extend love and compassion to myself, to actual parts of myself, and also to reparent myself. to kind of parent those childlike, hurting parts within me. And so I really invite you to start that journey as well. And I hope that this video is helpful for you to do that. And again, please let me know if there's anything that you would like me to add in these videos, if anything you feel like has been helpful in our sessions that you'd like to see in video form, or if there's anything that you're just really wanting to know more about in how you can kind of be present in the situation and kind of come out of it in the way that you want to. Okay, thank you for listening, and I hope that this has been helpful. And I will speak with you again shortly. Thank you. Hope you're all well and safe.